I'm chatting to Dee Wilkinson, who I've known for many years. And it's brilliant to have this opportunity, Dee, to talk about your work. You're a professional coach with 25 years experience of helping people help themselves improve their lives. So I just love this opportunity to talk to you about Southwest Coaching and to learn more about the coaching community that you've created. So why don't you start off by telling me why you set up the coaching community and who it's aimed at?
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. It's very exciting to be here to speak to you today, Rod, and very kind of you to do the interview. So thank you so much. So the reasons for setting up the community was we've been doing a lot of training with coaches over the last 20 years, and we train them through our own accredited programs or through the ILM, which used to be the Institute of Leadership and Management. And we always personally said, you know, you can always stay in contact, you can stay in touch for support. But we just felt there needed to be something of a bit more of a robust framework for newly qualified coaches, because it can be quite daunting going out there. You've got your piece of paper, you've done your training, but the actual reality of sitting in conversations, you know, you're reflecting and then how do you check things out? Because nobody sits in with you on those coaching conversations. So we wanted the community to give all-round support where coaches could come back, to know they're not alone, to have their skills sets valued, to check out their own imposter syndrome. Am I doing this right? What would you do in that situation? What would happen if? Sometimes they're grappling with tools and models and they need to just run them through and say, can I use it for this? Is this, you know, can I just use that part of it? Do I have to keep people funneled in? Great place to share questions, so lots of different people's views on questions and what they do, talking about where they might niche and where they focus their coaching. So it's a bit of a long answer, but we really wanted that space for newly qualified coaches specifically, so that they've got that access to some sort of informal supervision at their fingertips, and we can continue to support and generate good and safe practice and professional practice as coaches. That's really important.
I think what you said there made a lot of sense to me in terms of listening to you talking about the fact that the coach's role can in some ways be certainly a lonely role, a bit like trainers. You know, you don't have that necessarily that network of support always around you. So that really resonated with me. So you've talked a little bit about the challenges. What challenges do new and experienced coaches face in particular?
I think some of the particular challenges are, so we have, yes, experienced coaches are welcome to the group as well, because they bring a lot of wisdom with them. So just to mention that I think growing their own business is a particular challenge for coaches, because over the last 20 years, I've noticed a real kind of saturation in the market, and you see some hairy, scary things that, you know, going, become an ADHD coach in 48 hours and become a professional coach in 2 days. And, you know, that worries me slightly, if I'm honest, about people being misinformed and misaligned and then going out into the world to deliver something that they may not be fully equipped to do. So I think that, you know, the challenges are isolation. You're working on your own. If you're sharing that with anybody, you're going to be judged. And I think that's a big challenge for individual coaches. So judgment, isolation, and growing your business, I think, are probably some of the main ones that come up. Yeah.
And I think picking up from what you said, there's also the challenge there almost of credibility. If people are sort of setting you stand apart from those people and actually have the credibility of a really effective coach.
Yes, absolutely. And how do you assert yourself as a professionally qualified coach that's accredited with a recognized organization, you know, that has insurance, that has supervision, and has gone the extra mile to place themselves in the market at a very safe level for their clients? And I think it's important to help coaches establish that standing, so that they've got a platform from which they can work from with recognition and credibility, because it is all too easy. We're not overseen like psychotherapy and counselling services. So anybody can pull up into a petrol station and print off, I'm a coach, business coach, and off they go. So yes. Yeah.
And it's the same in training and consultancy as well.
Yeah.
So how do you support the coaches that are part of your community?
So with the community, first of all, we have a free level, and I think it's really important that coaches recognise they can come and join in free, and that's into the community chat where there's different topics of things that may be supportive for them. That free level also has a monthly newsletter that has tools that are recommended, videos that can help them or they can share with their clients when they're trying to explain something. It's accessible. I'm accessible, so I'm accessible for. Part of one of the levels is a weekly Q&A session, so anybody from the group can come into that hour, and we spread them at different times throughout the month. To have support, it just might be to check in because they work on their own all the time and they want some company. It might be to share some questions, sounding board if you like. Also, we can cross-refer clients, which is fantastic, because I don't particularly focus on career coaching, for example. I work a lot within healthcare and I focus on GPs. So having that community, I can think, oh, so and so is really good for that, and I know their credibility, their level, their standard, and I can offer them clients. So I think it's nice in that respect, is that you can all sort of help each other. Is that
Yeah, no, that sounds absolutely fantastic, and that's really what community is about, isn't it? Supporting each other. I love that idea. So I'm a professional coach. I like the sound of what I've heard. How do I sign up?
Okay, so very easily, we have a website, but equally we have a special landing page for the community, which is on its own, and it's https, and I can put a link in here, but it's called southwestcoaching.podia.com. And on that page, it tells you all about the different levels of membership, but there's a sign up for the free level, and just go on there and sign up and you'll get a welcome message, and then you can access the community, come and chat, say hi, put your introduction on, and start from there really. And then there's other packages that are available. Equally, just to mention, if you're an organisation, I've really noticed that lots of organisations invest in training internal coaches. And that's something we've done for organisation, trained their internal coaches, and then they no longer support them. The support falls away, and that is such a shame and such a waste of their money, because you need support to keep your skills set up, to keep coaching. So we offer an organisational package, an annual package for up to 6 internal coaches, where there's quarterly supervision sessions and then access to all the other membership things as well. So that sounds like a brilliant idea. I'm just reflecting on our own business of trainers library, where they'll sign up, but then they don't support the trainers in terms of that engagement with the service or understanding what they can provide. So that continued support, whatever industry you're in, whatever service you're providing, is so important. So I think that sounds absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about, I don't really want to talk a little bit about the other levels of membership. Do you want to explain what those involve?
Yeah, of course. So the free one is the newsletter and a blog every month and access to the community. So you've got all that support there, of which I'm a part of. So if you need a question answered or anything informal, and it's a safe, confidential space, it's a real about supporting each other. And then the next level up is you get various templates and access to those things as well. And then the level on top of that is you have the Q&A sessions weekly that you get access to, and bite-sized videos. And then on top of that is the gold membership, if you like, where you get all of those sorts of things, but also supervision with myself and other aspects of sort of added value, if you like. So, and we hopefully priced it really competitively, so that for that major level, it's only $37.99 a month.
Wow.
And if you look at what it would, depending on where you are on your coaching journey, that's very likely to be a lot cheaper than one coaching session a month. So you get all that support and backup, and CPD and insight for your practice for quite a small amount.
It genuinely sounds like something that's amazing value for money in terms of almost having like that mentor there to help you through your career. Sounds like a brilliant solution to me. Do you want to talk a little bit about what other services you provide personally and as an organization? I talked about your 25 years experience earlier on. Tell me a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah. Thank you. So most of my experience personally has been within a healthcare setting. So by the nature of that, my focus, specialism, if you like, went to coaching GPs, which is quite pertinent now in the crisis we're in and the pressure they're under. So my coaching has lent towards a foundation of well-being. So keeping people functioning, if they're suffering from stress or the potential of burnout, or they're very overwhelmed with their world of work, helping them gain real clarity and traction again back on their life to move forward. So other associates I have are very focused on business coaching or very focused on career coaching and really reaching goals, whereas mine's more underpins the well-being of the person to keep them safe and well and positive again, if you like. But some of the other things we offer are leadership and management development training. We train coaches, as I said, to ourselves, to our own programs, and with the ILM 5 and 7. We do a lot of training for coaching skills for internal coaches and organizations, and bespoke training on top of that around sort of, courageous conversations or managing your energy, not time, those sorts of things. So, and lastly to say that I wrote a book called Creating Your Future After Toxic Relationship. And this was specifically for people that have come out of a domestic abuse relationship. So, just in a nutshell, that was something I experienced and the future I had evaporated. And you spend all your energy and time getting to the point where you're sorted, but your future's gone. And when you look up, it's gone. So I really wanted to create something that would support people at that stage. So they've done the hard bit, but they're now in no man's land. So how can we help people step forward into a new future from that place? So that was a book that's being published by Routledge as well. You can find it on Amazon, etc. So, yeah.
I think it's lovely that you've used your personal experiences, which are obviously quite difficult experiences, in that really positive way. And I think it's really important that you talked about, it's not just about leaving your past behind, it's about then taking the step into a new future. I think that's a lovely way of expressing that. I just want to pick up on one other thing you said. You mentioned, and just for people who may not be familiar with the phrase, courageous conversations. What did you mean by courageous conversations?
Well, this fits really neatly with coaching, because the whole ethos of coaching is self-responsibility. This is what we're trying to build and encourage in all of our clients. And we recognize a lot in business and within organizations that there is conflict, of course, and we know that there's, healthy conflict, and we know that there's unhealthy conflict. But often these sorts of conversations aren't had for fear. And so what we try to do is help people gain the skills that they need in order to have very, and I don't mean this in a patronizing way, but very adult conversations that they know which part they're responsible for, which part they're not responsible for, how they manage that, and having the courage to do that. Because we talk in psychology about triangulation. So, we might have a problem with A, but we actually go and tell B about it rather than A, and we keep in this triangle. So courageous conversations is about skilling people up to be able to have the conversation with A that they need to have in a healthy way, and therefore cutting out the triangle and creating better communication, better ways of being. And that filters out through the culture, through the whole system, this is how we do business around here. This is a healthy way that we can manage self and others. So they're really important.
I love that.
That wasn't too long an answer.
No, it wasn't at all. And I was just picking up what you said about adult, and I was thinking also you can link the adult use of the word adult is not patronizing at all. You can link it back to transactional analysis, and that almost going to the other person instead of directed, like a child response almost, isn't it? So I think it's a really, really important point that we all need to be skilled, and it's not always easy to have those adult to adult conversations with other people when we need to have them. So I thought it was really well explained. Thank you. Hence
the courageous bit.
Yeah, no, it's good. Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I've really enjoyed chatting to you and learning more about what you do there. It's been really, really interesting, and I hope people do sign up.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Rod, to you also. And just, as an add-on, that it might be great for our clients to know what you do in the trainers library, and they can find you online. And equally, some of your trainers may be at the stage where they're not a coach and may need a coach. So it's lovely that we can come together and support each other's businesses.
Absolutely. I know we have a lot of clients within Trainers Library who have the dual role,
Yes,
like yourself,
exactly.
that they do coaching as well as providing leadership and management training. So clearly there's a useful crossover there.
Lovely. Oh, thank you so much. Take
No,
care.
thank you. Thanks very much.
And we'll stay in touch. Enjoy the rest of the sunshine.
Thank you.
All right. Bye for
Bye-bye.
now.
Bye.